G'day and welcome to Tony's Bonsai. I want to give a shout out to my man Scott, the bread thief. How's it going? I can't carry on anymore with that. I have a bit of banter with Scott and he asked me to do an intro in Australian, so there we go. I'd just like to say hello to all my Antipodean subscribers anyway. People from all over the world watch. It's I love the the community. But let's crack on with the video. And today it's about Acers and the dead, or are they? I was in B&M Bargains yesterday buying some antifungal spray, and I came across these Acers going green, reduced to clear, £1, and I just couldn't resist picking them up. They're all the same variety, these. They're all the going green Acer, and they have got some life in them, but I think they've just been allowed to dry out, to be honest. So all I'm going to do is take my scissors, cut off the dead leaves, and hopefully these will come back from all these fresh buds. I'll just zoom in and show you. I've zoomed in here on the top of the tree, and as you can see, it's just sending out lots of little green buds all around. So I'm very confident that this is going to come alive. So this first one, I think it's an absolute banker. This next tree, again, it's got some dead leaves on. It's got one green leaf, but again, it's got lots of buds happening all along. I'm going to just trim it down a little bit just to give it a bit of extra chance. So, well, there's buds all along these, so I'm basically just going to kind of leave that. I'm not sure whether to remove this leaf, but I suppose it's not doing any harm. It'll not hurt the tree, and it's already effectively been defoliated. So I may as well leave that one on, just let all these new ones develop. And finally, we've got this one. Now the leaves on this seem quite crispy and dead. So I'm going to get rid of them and fully defoliate this, because although there's a little bit of green on them, they're like quite crispy and they're not going to make it. And by removing all of these, I'm basically telling the tree, look, you need to send out a load of new buds and growth. Just one leaf at the top there. I'm going to get rid of that as well, actually. I'm going to get rid of them all, cut it down. And this is actually quite an interesting little tree, this one. I'll just show you the base. Really interesting little base, this. Looks like it's got a nice spread of roots coming out, and then it kind of splits off into sort of 3 trunks, so it's like a kind of multi-trunk tree. So I think that could have some potential in the future. Hopefully it leaves out and lives on. It's just a weed in this one, which I'll pull out. And this is Acer palmatum Phoenix. I'd never heard of this variety, so I did some research on it, and it's supposed to be a lovely tree. And what I'm going to do is, it's alive, it's doing okay, but it's not perfectly healthy. I suspect it dried out a bit, and it's got a weird branch in the middle that I need to get rid of. Hopefully you can see in here, there's a branch that looks like it's split off the main trunk at some point. It's kind of calloused over. It's almost healed up, but it's bent off at a really strange, weird angle. I don't like it, and so I'm going to cut that off. I've left that sort of branch below it there, that may as well go as well. And in the future, this will be removed completely, I think. But for now, in fact I'll just cut it back to there. Give it a little bit of room for dieback, and I want to get this planted in the ground on a tile. I just had a look around for a tile and I couldn't find them. I had them put to one side, but I think they've gone to the tip, which is a shame. And thinking about it, because it's not in the best health, I don't want to mess with the roots really, so I'm going to use my better judgment and leave it in its pot and just water it and look after it for the rest of this year, and probably plant it out into the ground next spring when I should do it. But I've got something else to show you now, which, well, it's not looking great. What we've got here are the air layers that I did a couple of months ago on my big maple that I bought off Facebook. And as you can see, one of them's changed. I took a look yesterday after the success of my hawthorn. I thought I'll take a look and see how the maple's doing. And I had a look and there was absolutely no root on it at all. The moss was still nice and damp. Everything looked good, but there was no real callousing, no roots. So I put a pot round it, put some moss in it, made a new cut and had another go. So I thought I'll do the same today. I mean, there might be roots on this other one. I've got a feeling there won't be, but let's take a look anyway. And if there aren't any roots, I'm going to do the same different technique on this branch that I did on this one. So let's have a look. I've not looked at this, so I don't know whether it's worked, but as I say, because the other hasn't worked, I just suspect this one isn't happening either. But you never know. I think this is like a 9-to-1 outsider. Remove the wire and see. It'd be wonderful if it's full of roots, because I really wanted this to work, but I just don't have a good feeling about it. No, I can't see any roots in there. Because of the lack of success with the first one, I just wasn't confident that this one would have worked. But you know, sometimes you never know. It's still got a little chance, I suppose. But with me not being able to see any roots, I can't seem to get this wire off. Why it hasn't worked, I'm not sure. Like I say, my hawthorn worked and my other maple one worked last year, but for some reason this one isn't liking it. So we'll remove the plastic now. See what we've got. No roots at all. There could be some inside, but there aren't. We've got nothing. Yeah, I didn't think there would be. I don't know. Oh, it's almost like it started almost callousing here through the bark. How strange. That's weird. So it's almost producing calluses through this bark, which is probably why it's not actually rooted where I want it to root, which is down here. What I'm going to do is take a plant pot, cut down the side of it, and just sort of cut out a bit of a hole in the middle like this. And this is a hole for the trunk. So the idea now is I can fit that around there like that and put some moss in it. I can't afford to go too much higher with this, because this is kind of where I want the base of the tree to be. So I'm just going to take off about 5mm of bark like that. This is a bit of a crappy knife actually. And just Let me get rid of this plant pot, that's in the way. There we go. And cut down like that. So ideally the new root would grow out from here. I'm just going to go around the back. It's a bit awkward round here, but I'm just going to go around and cut this back section just the same way that you've just seen me cut the front. I'm just cutting off about 5mm down roughly. And then this will allow, hopefully, new roots to form. The way this has responded is a bit strange to me. I don't really know what's gone on. Maybe some of my subscribers have got an idea of what happened. If you have, I'd love to hear. Just get some of this rooting powder. Dust it on. No, it didn't work last time, but perhaps this time it'll do the business. The UK is currently going through a bit of a heat wave, but Preston didn't get the memo. It's freezing cold and raining here. I've got my pot back now onto the tree there, and all I'll do is just wrap this wire around quite tightly like that to secure it. Slide the pot down onto it like this, and then wrap the wire around the pot like that and fill it with moss. I got some nice moss that I've just added water to, and I just put it around there like that, stuff it down, like this. So there's plenty there where I want the roots to grow. And then I'll just retighten this wire and sort of twist it up and around the tree like that. So that's kind of holding it in place nicely. There, that's quite secure now. I will just add one more piece of wire. So I've got another piece of wire here. I'll just, again, twist it around the base, and I'll just come around the pot in the opposite direction this time. Why has that come loose there? Not sure. Anyway, I'll just pull this round. I think I'm going in the same direction as the other wire, to be honest. But this one seems to be a fair bit tighter. And I'll just come round there, and then perhaps, having done that, I might have to just retighten this first piece, which, yeah, I'll just give that a pull. Oh, that's better. Give that a nice pull, twist it around, and that's really secure now. That's not going to blow in the wind or anything. It's not going to slide. That's there to stay, and hopefully that'll root. I've not got massive hope, but who knows. Although these air layers obviously were not successful, I still think they've got a chance a second sort of bite at the cherry, as it were. However, the main purpose of buying this tree was for the base. And since I've done these air layers, it's shot loads and loads of new growth out from the bottom. So when I do eventually cut these down, even if I don't get anything from the top, I'm going to have a really nice healthy tree with some lovely lower branching, which I think is going to make a fantastic tree. So, you know, air layering is a bit like life. You win some, you lose some, but yeah, I always enjoy it, whatever. You know, it's ultimately, it's just trees, isn't it? So, as always, thanks for joining me. If you'd like to follow the success or failure of these air layers, hit subscribe. And as always, have a great day.